The New Orleans Saints travel to Carolina to face their division rival Panthers on Sunday in what is quite possibly Week 16's best game. Carolina a 3-point favorite on BETDAQ, 46.5 the total in this game. Now just 2 weeks ago these teams met in New Orleans, Saints coming out with a decisive 31-13 win. Drew Brees nearly perfect in that game, threw for 313 yards and 4 touchdowns against this Carolina defense that has been stout this season. The Panthers currently rank second in the NFL in both total defense, meaning yards allowed and points allowed. And we know the New Orleans offense has been worse away from home than in the Superdome this year. Really every year. They're just so good in the Superdome. I believe the specifics are they average about 82 more pass yards per game at home this year than they do on the road. Saints, of course, coming off a bad loss last week to the St. Louis Rams in St. Louis. That loss really surprising, and it's really hard to explain. Now, they've made some changes coming out of there. They released kicker Garrett Hartley, who missed a couple of kicks in that game, replaced him with Shane Graham. But more notably, they have a new starting left tackle now as Teron Armstead, a rookie third-round pick from Arkansas Pine Bluff, will get the first start of his career on Sunday. He will be trying to block Greg Hardy, one of the best defensive ends in the NFL. So that is definitely a concern for the New Orleans Saints here. And maybe that's part of the reason Carolina has been a popular public bet at sportsbooks around the world this week. And you certainly understand that. After all, this is the type of game the Saints seem to struggle with. Carolina fits the profile of the type of team they struggle with. You look at some of the Saints' losses this year to St. Louis, to the Seattle Seahawks, to the New York Jets. Those are all teams that attempt to win with defense and the running game. Now, they have varying levels of success doing that. Obviously, Seattle does both things much better than either the Jets or the Rams, but all three of those teams in the same neighborhood in terms of style, and Carolina one of those teams as well. They like to win with defense and the running game. They actually don't pass the ball very well. 28th in the NFL in passing offense. Cam Newton averaging only 198 pass yards per game. The Panthers one of only 5 teams league-wide to average fewer than 200 pass yards per game. And really the struggles of the Carolina offense, not only the passing game, but the offense in general, hasn't been talked about much. And it's because they've played so well over the second half of the season, and their defense has been so good all year that it really hasn't mattered that their offense hasn't been that good. But it hasn't been good. As we said, 28th in passing offense, 25th in total offense, meaning yards per game, 17th in points scored, despite getting some defensive touchdowns, including last week when Captain Munnerlyn returned an interception for a touchdown against the Jets. And really, it's Carolina's struggles on offense. It really makes it difficult for me to get behind them in this situation because the Saints have been very good on defense this year. And it's proven now that it's no fluke. I mean, we're in Week 16. The Saints have been playing at a top 5 level all season. They currently rank 5th in both yards allowed and points allowed. They're a little bit soft against the run, so that's a concern here. No doubt Carolina is going to try to pound the football in this game, but we saw how well that worked out for them 2 weeks ago in New Orleans. I know, new game, new venue, but I think the Saints are just better than the Panthers. I don't think the Panthers have the offense to keep up, and even though they have a great defense, they're better in the front 7 than they are in the secondary. Drew Brees and this New Orleans offense certainly showed a couple of weeks ago they know how to attack this Carolina defense, and while I don't expect anything close to 31-13 in this game, I do expect New Orleans to win this game. This is obviously a crucial game for both teams. It's real cut and dry for the Saints. If they win this game, they lock up the number 2 seed and a first-round bye in the playoffs. If they lose this game, and if the Panthers are able to beat the Atlanta Falcons next week, then the Saints will play on the road wild card weekend. So this could be the season for the New Orleans Saints. Obviously, also just as crucial for the Carolina Panthers. I think the Saints are going to get the job done here. I think they're just a little better. I like New Orleans +3 in this game.